Thomas Jefferson said, "No society can make a perpetual constitution or a perpetual law." And perpetual means eternal, forever. So what he was saying is that the Constitution, if it was made so you could never change it, it probably would not be around too long. So, things you need to know. Amending the Constitution. There are two words that you need to be aware of: amend and ratified. Amending means changing the Constitution. Ratification is the act of signing or giving formal consent to a treaty, contract, or agreement, making it officially valid. The delegates in Philadelphia knew that the Constitution would need to adjust to time and conditions that they couldn't possibly foresee. As a result, the framers provided a formal procedure to amend the Constitution. While recognizing the need for flexibility, the framers wanted future generations to consider proposed changes carefully before amending the Constitution. To ensure that change would not be made in haste or quickly, they created a very complicated amendment process. So, one way the Constitution can be changed. First, an amendment has to be proposed. Then, an amendment is proposed by a congressperson. The amendment is voted on by the Senate and the House of Representatives. The amendment has to pass by a 2/3 vote in both houses. There is another way to change the Constitution. Article 5 of the Constitution outlines two methods for proposing amendments. So we've already said that 2/3 of both houses of Congress can propose an amendment. But also, you can have a special national convention. And it's called by Congress at the request of 2/3 of the state legislatures. So what happens is that the state government, 2/3 of the state legislators can say to Congress, "I think we need to have an amendment to the Constitution." And then if 2/3 of them vote on that, they can have that as their amendment. Although the framers did not include a time limit for ratification, the Supreme Court has ruled that it must occur within some reasonable time. Congress has defined the period as 7 years, but of course the court may grant some extra time. So, how does the proposed amendment become an amendment? Two ways, of course. This is one, proposed by the Congress by 2/3 vote in each house. So, it's ratified by state legislators in 3/4 of the states. Or It's ratified by the state conventions in 3/4 of the states. Amending the Constitution is not an easy process. It is difficult to win 2/3 vote in one, let alone both, houses of Congress. Furthermore, if Congress succeeds in gathering the votes to propose an amendment, there is no guarantee that 3/4 of the states will then ratify it. So, if an amendment is proposed by the National Convention called by Congress at the request of 2/3 of the state legislators, it can be ratified in two ways. One, it could be ratified by the state legislators in 3/4 of the states. Or two, it could be ratified by conventions in 3/4 of the states. Since 1789, members of Congress have formally proposed more than 10,000 joint resolutions calling for amendments. Congress has sent only 33 of these amendments to the states, and only 27 have been ratified. With remarkably few changes, the Constitution has shaped and guided our system of government for more than 200 years.